This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Terence Mas, recent graduate of Speak to Inspire program. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. I am honored to be here. I've been following you for a good 2 years now. And, just previously we were having a conversation about, how the US and the UK have this, difference between mentors, and in the UK it's like a handful. So when I heard about London Real and I heard about Brian Rose, I was like, wow, he's actually here in London. I worked in Holborn, and I was like, wow, he's right here in London. And I started following you. I love the setup, and I saw Winston and etc. I love the story. And now I'm sitting here 2 years later. I cannot believe this.
And look at you, you made it happen. You were at our Dan Pena premiere a couple weeks ago. You just graduated from Speak to Inspire. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, what do you do, all that good stuff.
Wow, well, I was born in Harare, Zimbabwe. I guess the typical, upbringing of a struggle, being in Zimbabwe and then trying to find your way out. So I was blessed and lucky to move to the U.S., where you can hear a little bit of the accent. And I just picked myself up, and I learned about the whole American hustle and sales and how you have to really go out there and get it. And I just grew. I just taught myself. I'm self-taught, and I found my way into the corporate world via sales. And I diversed into music. I diversed into so many things to try and find my actual path, which I kind of feel like I'm at today. So that's how I feel like I got to be sitting in this chair. It's just because I was just learning, constantly looking to learn and grow as a person. So now I do property. I'm a property developer, investor, owner, and I use that vehicle to fund my dreams and my lifestyle, and I continue to grow as a person.
And what are some of those dreams and lifestyles? Because you got a lot of the things planned, don't you?
Oh yeah, always. I mean, the one thing that I must say is my biggest dream. Is to make sure that I never stop growing as a person, because being, if you had to Google, I mean, try this, Google Harare, Zimbabwe, right? And then just try and look at the roads and the structure, and just the infrastructure of what we had to go through, I don't ever want to go back to that. And if I do go back, I want to make a difference, so my biggest dream is to make sure that I can at least add some type of value to that. But my personal dreams and my selfish dreams, I want to be a film star. I'm producing a movie. The rough title's Off the Grid. We're producing it here in London, and I hope to be the next Vin Diesel of London if I had my way, and grow my property portfolio. I'm a big fan of Grant Cardone. He's a big property investor. His rule is the 10x rule. Everything you have, multiply it by 10 or more. So I love that philosophy, and I try and apply that into everything that I do in my life.
I love it, man. And I've seen some of your music videos too. Now, tell me, what was going on with you that made you decide to join us on Speak to Inspire? Because, you don't seem like you have a problem speaking. So what was going on to cause you to do it? In
all honesty, I think the fear that I always had to explain myself, coming from Harare, Zimbabwe, now I've got this half American accent, and then I'm so unstructured. When I got to, and the funny thing is, you worked at Wall Street, right? Mm. And my first job in New York, I was shining shoes on Wall Street. Who knows? I could have shined your shoes.
Who knows?
That would be an amazing story. Back in the selfie days, that was 1998. Right? Okay. So if we had selfies, and I think there were no picture phones back then, but I could imagine if that was captured. But my story's got so many twists and turns, and I found that I just struggled to explain it, and leave an impact without feeling like, for example, if I'm trying to get investment money for a property or for my film, I felt that I left myself leaving the investor unsure. Like, hold on, this guy's he's too all over the show. How am I gonna trust him with £1 million or £2 million for this film when he was here, he was there, he was here, my 9 to 5. I mean, I got hired and fired. My CV is there's not even a 2-year timeline on my CV. Every job, I literally went in, closed the deals, made the money and left, I just didn't have any commitment. And I joined the course because I needed to I needed to try and find a way to tame all of that, all of those stories, so that way when I'm delivering them, it has value, but it also will leave some type of effect that's not going to make me feel that, for the next 2 days. And I used to feel so bad. I mean, I had a great conversation with this guy, coffee, whatever, in the Ritz, wherever it was. But the next 2 days, I'm feeling sad because I'm like, nah, they ain't gonna invest in me. They think I'm a wreck.
Right. See, because you have so much energy,
right.
You just need to structure it in a way and give people that final bulletproof action.
Yes.
And then leave it with them. And deep down inside, you're not doing that now.
No.
So that's good. At least you're hearing that and you're trusting your gut and you're realizing, okay, I should be closing these deals because you got great ideas, you got great ambition, great energy.
Right.
It's just the communication factor.
Definitely.
And now it makes sense. And props to you for deciding to fix it.
No, thank you.
So why London Real? Why join us?
Why London Real? I was following Gary Vaynerchuk, the Vayner Nation. Big shout out to Gary. He is a unicorn in his world. You're never gonna find another Gary ever again. And he was arriving. I live near Heathrow Airport, and he was arriving. And I was thinking, you know what? Let me just go to Heathrow, go stand out there, get a selfie. Because I'm trying to boost my social profile, etc. But then I was like, oh, you know what? It's just too much. Like, come on, man. I got 2 kids. What am I doing? Like driving to Heathrow, going to go and look for Gary Vee. But he mentioned he was going to be on London Real. So I was like, London Real, because everyone I follow is in the U.S. Gary, Tony Robbins. You name it. They're all in the U.S. So I googled, London Real, came up. This Brian Rose, and then straight away I saw your TEDx talk, and I was like, wow, this guy's here. And your story is phenomenal. Our stories are from 2 ends. Mine is, from poor trying to get rich. Yours is from rich trying to give back to the poor. You know what I mean? And that was amazing. I thought, wow, this is a guy, because one of my property mentor, he's a shark. Like anyone else out there would be eaten alive. Like, you really have to be really intelligent to work with him, or else he's just going to take every single penny from you. And I like that, because if you're going to learn how to swim, don't learn from a dolphin. You're going to get caught in the rubble and stuff. You want to learn from a shark. He's going to teach you how to go and survive out there. And I thought to myself, wow, this guy Brian Rose, he's like, this guy's a shark.
He's a shark.
Yeah. And that was it. I subscribed. I hit your alerts. I was working in Holborn. I was working for an e-commerce company, which just was sales. Like there was no community, there was no company environment. It was literally, here's your target, go out there and get it. The normal corporate hustle. Yeah. And you were in the background, just with all these interviews, and there was Gary Vee, and there was Grant Cardone, and I was just like, this guy's here. And then the Speak to Inspire commercial came up on one of the videos I was watching of Grant Cardone, and I was like, Speak to Inspire, that's what I need. I need to do this. Pull the trigger. Boom, credit card out, max it. And I'm here.
And there you go, boom. All right, well, you get into the course, right?
Right.
So all of a sudden, you're with this community of 75 people around the world. I'm throwing video modules at you. I'm asking you to go on Facebook Live, to start recording speeches, to start putting structure in. What's that whole first 2 weeks like?
The first thing, like, I've done a few other courses, and it was just, few videos, you can watch it at your time, at your pace. But when you hit us with the accountability and the Zoom and everything else, I was like, hold on, I'm not ready for, I didn't sign up for this. I swear, honestly, I was like, I'm trying to produce this movie. I've got my property business. I'm managing my whole portfolio, and I'm thinking, where am I going to now find time to squeeze in for this? And then we did our first live call together, and you were like, Terence. I was like, wow, speaking of Brian, and you gave me this really good feeling, and I was like, no, you know what? I have to commit. And that was the hard part, because the first lesson you taught us was about resistance. And once you unfold the resistance part, it made it easier for me to manage the property portfolio, the wife, the kids, and everything else. It made it a little bit more easier, because prior to that, it was just this, like, oh gosh, like I can't let the wife down, and but I managed to, it's weird thinking about it now. 6 weeks later, it was fine. I managed that easier, knowing that it's resistance, right, than before. Like, the world's just against me. Like nobody wants me. I'm never going to be able to speak properly.
For people that don't understand, how would you explain resistance to them, or that concept, you know?
Should I give them the Dan Pena version?
Go ahead.
Man, resistance is just moaning and complaining and crying and just being just stop. Like, you know, come on. Like, look, just a couple of months back, you know, the whole of the Caribbean went through the tsunamis and, the tornadoes and hurricanes and etc. You know, but they carried on. Like, we live in the western part of the world where we, protected by that. So, we got to be grateful. Like, we can't complain about traffic and you know, my alarm didn't go off and all of that. Other people, I mean, even going back to Zimbabwe, they're dealing with Mugabe's regime and all of that stuff, you know. And I had to say, you know, that was the biggest thing. Like, you know what? Just stop, man. Stop complaining. Like, just go and do it. Like, you know, you've got, like Gary says, you know, you've got 18 hours in the day. You know, what are you doing with them? And I was like, you know what? Like, just stop. And that was the realization. And then the accountability with the team was that you understood. Like, remember when Joe told us the story about his dog?
Yeah.
You
dog
know,
that died, yeah.
And again, that point right there, when, you know, he lost his dog and he explained how close he was to it, man, I was like, Terence, you know what, man? Like, you really, really are ungrateful. You know, stop complaining. Like, you got everything. What more do you want?
Yeah, and the beautiful thing of looking at resistance is it's not like your wife's against you, or the kids against you, or the job, your customers. It's just barriers that are put in front of you that are your job to surmount, and then you get the prize. Yes. And it's everywhere. And whenever you go to do something big, buy a big property, make a big movie, you're going to get resistance.
Definitely.
And so if it means that the financing's hard, or if it means your family says, where are you? It's like, oh yeah, that's all part of becoming a winner.
Yes.
It's not personal.
No.
It's not people trying to get you down. It's just something you got to deal with if you want to go big.
Definitely.
And it's a great way to take all the emotions out of it. And you're
wow.
like, oh yeah, that's it. That's resistance.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, talk to me about your teammates in the class, because you took a real good early leadership role. You were in there firing people up. What's that like, having all these people you never met before?
To be honest with you, it was a breath of fresh air. You know, being in a sales environment, my last target working for an e-commerce company was roughly just under £1 million. And it came with a responsibility that your friend was your laptop and the process. You know, you couldn't really have a relationship with your team members. It was team meetings, team coffees, but that was it. Like, you know, if you're not hitting your number, you're sacked. You're out the door. And when you part of a team that's achieving the same goal, you know, it's a different. You know, everyone's in sales. Everyone's achieving the same target, but not the same goal. It's all because of them. It's all because of the company's returns, and it's all about their pockets on the commission. They don't care about whether you're going to hit your goals. But in this team, it was different. Everybody wanted to see everybody win, you know? And it was refreshing because I've been a Lone Ranger my whole life. Mm. You know, by myself. If it was the Wild Wild West, I would be Clint Eastwood, bang, you know, bang. You know, I grew up on Western movies. I love Western movies, you know, and that is the real reality. I was a Lone Ranger. But in this team, the accountability of holding yourself accountable, not because of you, but because of the team as well. It changed me, you know. It changed me because I kind of felt that this is what I needed, and this is, you know, the last 2 years of my real success within my property business, within my film, is because I've built a team. You know, my producer, my director, they're fantastic. Like we all have kids, so we know, hey, listen, you know, between 5 till 8, you know, everyone's looking after the families, you know, and stuff, and we're gonna have our meetings after that. And even with this team, right, that you built, now everyone understood everyone's resistance, and everyone pushed each other in a way that you didn't feel like, oh, like they've been selfish. They pushing me for their gain, you know. They were pushing me because they knew that, hey, listen, if you win, we win. If we win, you win. You know, and I mean, I don't even know if I can find, you know, the camaraderie. You know, if that's the way to put it, like in a soldier's world, like, you know, you don't leave that man behind. You know, that was amazing. You know, and then there's guys in the team that I know right now that I'll probably be friends with them longer than friends that I've had from when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't
definitely.
it? It's strange.
It's beautiful.
Because you guys all have been through something big together, and you all want big things. and you all want each other to be successful. And like you said, hard to find a good peer group to be around and people that really want to see you win.
And the one thing that really was quite an eye-opener was that as even though we were quite a good number, no one had the same topic. Everyone had their own view of the world, and that was beautiful. Like, it's like I saw the whole world in 18 different ways, you know. If you think about it, because like I spoke about living the good life through financial freedom, you know, and and Joe was, you know, he spoke about, sorry Joe, I can't remember on the point, but you know what I mean. There was so many different topics that had value, but all leading to the same goal was, you know, your spirit, your soul, who you are as a person, you know, and how you're going to live your life, which was a beautiful thing. It all led to that one being. But team members, if I ever have to travel, like I travel a lot. Everyone in that team lives in a different continent, a different country. I'll never have to worry about, oh, what am I going to do? I can call Joe. Hey, I can call Anthony. He's in Canada. I've not been to Canada. I can call Anthony. I can call. It's amazing. You know, I'm not going to get that anywhere else. It's thank you.
No, my pleasure, man. It's you guys that do the serious work and make that happen. So tell me about big breakthrough for you in the course. What's the first time where you're like, wow, I'm impressed that I did that. I can see how this is working for me. I can feel like my speaking getting better.
Man, I think the big moment that changed the direction of how I committed to the course was when you made us post our first videos to our public Facebook pages, not to the group. Because with the group, I'll be honest, like because I've taken rejection a lot and etc. I don't like to give rejection because I know how it feels. So I was commenting on the videos, even though some of the videos honestly were bad, I would still say, hey, that was good, you know, you can do well, you're gonna be okay, like it's the beginning, you know. But obviously Dan Pena would be like, listen, change, like you said, if the business ain't working, change it, stop and get out. I couldn't say that. I don't have it in me, and I don't think I could ever do that, you know. But the moment that changed, when I felt like, okay, I need to take this seriously and I need to commit to this, because was when I posted my Facebook public profile, because the fan base that I've built only know me as this high energy, you know, great charisma, great character, go-getter, and this big, you know, music guy and film and everything. I don't think I've ever shown them any flaws or faults in my structure. And that video, when you said, Terence, you really have to get vulnerable, you know, like in Harare, Zimbabwe, if you show vulnerability, you're gonna get, it's hyena time. You know, the lions, forget the lions, hyenas are coming to get you. Any sign of weakness is a way for them to attack you. You know, there's no win-win in where I was brought up. It's I win, you lose. Somebody has to lose. Right. And I was like, Brian, I don't know if I can do that. Getting vulnerable, you know, I'm gonna like, there's people out there that they're ready to pounce on me. I put that video out, Brian. I got phone calls from people I hadn't heard from in 5 years asking me, is everything all right? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm more than okay. I'm on top of the world. But it's taken me a vulnerability video to show my fears and my failures for you to give me a call 5 years later. Because did you want to see me fail? You know, that was a question. Obviously, I couldn't ask them that on the phone. Yeah,
but that's interesting,
right? Hey, great to hear from you. You know, I had to play that game, but deep inside, I was like, wow. You know, none of my music has done that. None of the speaks I've done or the relationships I've had meeting, you know, a random person has made that much of an impact than that first. And that was so unstructured. I mean, that was the first task you gave us. Yeah. And even though I had a lot of ums and ahs, and, you know, I think I had a good 9-second gap in between what I was trying to say. And even though between I had that 9-second gap, you know, I had, in high school, I was awarded an award for being a most popular guy. It was a crazy award, right, in high school.
I could see that.
You know, it was mostly because of the girls, you know. I was the only guy in the choir, you know, if I can get, you know, so that, you
Smart
know.
move.
And the teacher who gave me that award follows me through my profiles. Okay. She sent me a private message, and she said, look at what your video has done. Look at how many people it's touched. I don't want to hear you go, so emotional again. You know, you need to go out there and make sure that you keep motivating these people. And I was thinking, wow, that one video did that. Wow, man.
All right, so it showed you the power of getting vulnerable to really speak to people. And I think this is a big lesson for you to learn on this course, is that you're used to, again, maybe it comes from a Harari background of, you can't show weakness, people pounce on weakness.
No.
But if you go up there and you're the super successful, great dressed guy and you're trying to talk to kids or budding entrepreneurs or anybody, it won't work always. No. They want to see that, man, you had to struggle, man, and I still struggle with this, and I might look like I'm a success, and I am, but I want to be more, and I'm still struggling with the same thing you guys are struggling with. That's how you make a serious connection, Wow. And I think you're starting to feel that, right?
Yeah, I didn't see the power. When you told me, I was like, oh man, it's like Brian's asking me to go vegan or something.
That comes next. No, but you did it, and so power to you, man. So you're willing to get out of your comfort zone to take yourself to the next level. So
thank you.
That's good. What did you struggle with in the course? What was one of the modules that was hard?
I think the hardest module was I think it was module 2, because it was like you've got these great assets. You can add the hero's journey in. You can add But when you have, in the beginning, you kind of like have your speech laid out, and you're like, what, if I just stick to this for the course, I'm in the safe zone. I can get through this. And you started throwing in, these things that, okay, you have to add some, you got to add the hero's journey in, you got to add the statistics in, you got to add I'm just trying to think of all, it's a lot of 6 weeks.
It's like social proof,
social
statistics,
for sure.
Instant inspire moments. There was a lot of things to do.
And like when I started, like when we started doing the Facebook Lives, I was like already feeling comfortable because I had memorized my whole speech, and I thought, this is good. All I need to do is add more charisma and add more sorrow, and I'll get through the 6 weeks. I can do the cheat way. Great, like you said, great artist steal. And I can't remember the saying, but I thought I'm gonna just steal my way through it. Like I started watching more interviews on YouTube and think, okay, I'll nick a bit of this, nick a bit of that, and I'll just stick to this, and I will ace this 6 weeks. And then you threw in these little things, and I thought, oh my God, like I've just memorized the stuff. Now I got to start thinking about instant inspire, and then you got to hone the whole talk, and then you realize that you can't just sound like one topic. You got to have different things, and that was hard. That was hard for me to get my mind to switch between having to speak about me and then drop a stat to then back me up. I never had to do that, and that's why I was saying, like, I wanted this course, because if I'm speaking to a mentor and I know he likes Rolls Royces, and I drop, hey, do you know Rolls Royce, manufacturer, blah, 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 in my speech, I think I'll get some credit. And those little hooks and stuff that you've taught us really add those value in. But I had to really think back, like, okay, you know what? Let me write my speech down on paper. Because prior to that, even though you said, make sure you write your whole speech down on the paper, I still didn't do it. I was like, nah, man, my way is easy. I'm just gonna memorize this and ace my way. Brian will never know. But I got caught out in the end in module 2, and then module 3 really cemented that. And I think as I started growing and watching my team members' videos was a massive help, because I wasn't sure whether my instant inspire moment needed to be in this part of the speech or that part of the speech. And I'll probably say Anthony and probably Vikram were like really good ambassadors of the structure. Like they really picked it up straight away. Your videos are fantastic. They're amazing. Like, you had the coursework and then you had the video, but I think the video added more value to me than the coursework.
Okay.
But again, it's the head, it's my head, because as I was doing it, I think I was going back to the easy route. I was looking to do the easy way rather than actually learning how to speak to inspire. And I got to go back and do this course like properly, in the new year, as I'm building my next speeches, I really have to go in properly and sit down.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of information in there,
Yeah.
but that's how you make that winning speech. And you can see your classmates, they start to stick these things in there, put the statistics in there, put the social proof in there. It starts to.
Yeah, I mean, even like yesterday's, when we all did our speeches.
Yeah, talking about that, you were here last night. There's 30 people here. You got up and did your speech. You saw all the other speeches. What was that like?
I tell you what, it was amazing, and enough respect to not Inga. What's the other girl?
Anniko? She was at the end.
The German girl who struggled.
For struggle. There was Julianne. She was the short hair talking about the refugees.
So she struggled. She wanted to quit. She did her first 5 minutes. She said, "I'm going to start again."
Yeah. She got the notes.
You know,
and
she
stuff.
got her notes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then she said, "I'm going to start again." And then I could see her looking at you to say, "Brian, I'm going to sit down." And you know what? She went through and she did it. And you know what? I was so nervous. I mean, I missed I was drinking my water, doing my breathing inside. I missed my mouth and I poured all my water down my pants. And I was like thinking, how am I going to go stand up here and give my speech I got wet pants, you know? And it was really nerve-wracking. I mean, you can hide behind YouTube and you can hide behind Facebook Live. I think it's a very, very powerful shield. You feel like, hey, you know what? I'm behind my camera. You can't touch me. But when you sitting with people, singing is easier. You know, singing is easier. You know, they want to be entertained. They want to be serenaded. Speaking is to inspire. You want to make sure you leave impact. Yeah. You leave them with a message, and like you said, you know, you want to make sure they remember you. So your brain is thinking, right? Did you leave a bulletproof act? Make sure you do the bulletproof act. Your brain's telling you all these things, firing at you. Make sure you say that, and you're thinking, leave me alone. I need to say my speech. And you're forgetting things, you know. But then everyone did it. You know, that was amazing. Everyone did it. Everyone, regardless of whether they were reading it on paper, whether they said it, you know, and the feedback you gave was 100% spot on, because that's the challenge. I tried to wing it. You know, like you said, my Harare story, I could have added just a little bit of it. I could have added a lot more of it, but it didn't really add to the story. And I think that, like, you know, like I was saying, as I was trying to just wing it, I was, you know, trying to use all the wrong things rather than the actual right things that I had in my speech. I already had them in my speech, but I didn't really stretch on them until after that, which was amazing feedback. So thank you again for that. And,
you're welcome.
And a big lesson.
You giving your Harare story here was powerful. So the way you told me about it today, I came from a place, you know, I don't know if you know about Harare, but I come from this place and this is what it's like. And if you go on the Google Maps, and growing up was like this, and then I went to America, that already is interesting. So we're going to find a way to put it into your speech.
Yes,
but I'm telling you, man, you've got the energy, you've got the plans, you've got the stories, you've got the messages. But like you said, and I told everybody this last night, unless you put it together in the structure, unless you focus it all down the barrel of the gun, it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah. And you've felt that before. You go to give a pitch and, like, you know you can do the work. Oh, yeah. You know they should put their money with you. And yet they come out with a mixed message. And it all comes down for you, I think, structure and putting those bang things into place. And when you master this, oh, Jesus, man.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck Grant Cardone. You're going to take over that man's business.
Oh,
seriously.
Wow. No, I appreciate it.
I think that's really true.
I will take that, and I'll cherish every word you said. Thank you for that.
All right. Plans for the next 12 months. You got the class now. You guys are going to stay accountable to each other. Where do you want to take your speaking? What's the thing you want to do with it?
You know, I love. I'm a storyteller, and there's one way to tell stories is in movies. You know, and the new platform is to be a speaker. So I would love to be a speaker, international, and take my crazy view and way I've structured the world into my stories, into speaking, as well as producing as a movie. So I plan to, in the beginning, I plan to do it as a more of a business forum, because I love finance. I love the whole business hustle. You know, I'm not shining shoes anymore or picking pigskins in Harare. You know, I'm now a businessman, and I love the whole, you know, I love wearing a suit. I love the whole Batman, you know, hey, just show me a phone booth. I'll get my Superman on if I need to, you know. And so I want to take that, you know, what I've learned from this course and get all these stories out so that I can add value to the world, you know, to people that are just like me, that have, you know, whatever background, you know, and you just want to try and harness it so you can use it to get you there, not use it against. My stories will go in against me, you know what I mean? I was like, how is that? I mean, is that possible? I was literally, what did they say? You sabotage yourself.
Yeah.
You know. I was sabotaging I was leaving a meeting thinking, hey, that was a great meeting, and then realizing I just sabotaged myself, you know? and I'm not ever going to do that again. And so, and that's what I'd like to do, and hopefully help people that way, because, you know, the younger age, I find it hard to find younger people, because, you know, I must say, like the Grant Cardones, you know, I'm not discrediting him in any way. Gary Vaynerchuk, I'm not discrediting him in any way. They achieve greatness, you know, but also the world that they achieve their greatness in, that world is long gone, you know, and the world we live in now, you know, is a different world, and it's not going to be as maybe easy or successful or great as what they've achieved, because the path that we have to take is a totally different way. And I'm hoping that I can try and figure that out for this generation, so we can try and achieve greatness like Gary Vaynerchuk, like Brian Rose, you know, with London Real. You know, it's not easy to set up a YouTube channel. You know, I've tried. I would think I'll put up a music video. I'm like, hell, in the morning I'm gonna have 1 million views. I wake up, I'm like 299. You know, you give up. You give up.
Yeah. The truth is that when people think about speaking, they think, oh, I'm going to be a TED Talk, or I'm going to be this guy. But the truth is that any entrepreneur, any movie producer, anybody who wants to take a movement forward, they have to communicate. Whether it's in that business meeting, whether it's with your team, you have to be able to speak to inspire. Yes. You know, whether there's 2 people in the room or 200. And so this is a skill that's going to pay you huge dividends when you master it.
It's going to pay me more dividends than the actual activity that I'm doing. Because if I've managed to speak my way and get everyone on board to do the film is done. If I've managed to build a relationship with that investor, the property is bought and invested. But if I can't achieve that goal, if I can't speak and inspire my team members to get my film done, if I can't speak to an investor to get him on board, the boat is never going to sail. And that's you know, that if we're going back to using stats, you know, that's 92% of people will never ever achieve their dreams. You know, I was driving behind a hearse the other day, right? And man, it was scary. Bro, I'm driving behind this hearse, and I see the box, and I'm thinking to myself, shit, man, that's where we ending up. All of this, after all of this resistance, we going in there. Oh, so
time to go big.
Time Definitely. To go really big.
Let me ask you a question. If we walked down on the street and we bumped into the Terence who didn't take that course, this course, how is he different than you?
Man, I think you'd probably say what my wife told me, and the reason why I married my wife. You'd say, you know what, that guy got a lot of good ideas and a lot of good things, but he ain't going nowhere fast. Yeah.
Now you got some structure.
Man, I'm going somewhere now. I think that, like, you know, if I don't, then hey, put me in that hearse sooner.
Not ready for that box yet. Last question: if someone's watching us and they're not sure whether they should join the academy or not, they don't know if it's worth the investment, they don't know if they need to speak to inspire or something else, what would you say?
You know, I tell them, look, right, I'm a different fish in the ocean, right? There were women on the course that had come from, you know, broken marriages, abuse, you know, and etc. There were men that had just had no identity. They were so low in their spirits, they just wanted to know how to communicate and just make a friend. It's a must. Like, how can you change whatever circumstance you're in, whether it's business, whether it's friends, whatever it is, how can you change that if you're not willing to have a voice for yourself? So I would say that if you're really serious about changing your life, you know, Tony Robbins spoke about, you know, he's a communications guru. You know, there's so many things in communication. There's tonality, there's body language. You know, there's a lot of things that you can add to that. You know, but your body language and your tonality, and then the words that are coming out of your mouth, if they're not in sync, you know, how's somebody going to trust you with their friendship? How is somebody going to trust you with their marriage? How's somebody going to trust you with their business? And I've dealt with that for way too long, you know. So pull the trigger, you know, like, make it happen. You know, it's not even an investment. It's like bigger than investment. It's your life. Investment is like, hey, you know, I'm putting my money in the bank. You know, your life, like I'm saying, if you're not gonna invest in, like, do something about your life, then, you know, the box is waiting. You know, the box is there. The hearse is ready to drive you to. So I would say like it will definitely help you, you know. And I think no, I'm not discrediting the educational system, but let me just take you back one more time to Harare, Zimbabwe. My teachers used to say when I was a kid in school, right? And I'm just gonna use the accent because it's just gonna add thing, you know. So you're in class and they're like, okay, spell sorry, you know, and you know the way they pronounce it, you're already gonna spell it wrong because of the pronunciation, you know. But if they learn how to speak well, right, then you know there were so many accents in last night, so many accents. But I understood everyone. I couldn't understand my teacher when I was a kid in school. I couldn't understand a word they were saying. So even on that level, teachers need to learn how to speak to inspire. Because it might have made it a little bit easier for me to actually take school seriously and have a better educational structure. Because I was like, well, my teacher's not taking this seriously. They don't really care if I can spell this. They're not even saying the word right. How am I going to spell it right?
Yeah, it's such an important skill set, you know.
Definitely.
Terrence, I'm a lucky man because I get to hang out with these amazing students like you. And you know, I'm telling you, I would do this for free because just watching your journeys and being around your energy has been amazing. I mean, last night we had 30 people in the house dropping their 5-minute speeches at the world headquarters. And like you said, some of these people, man, you know, so much anxiety. Just even talking was hard for them. You know, not everyone's like Terrence. And then they got people from all over the world, like you said, different accents. Some people sharing stories of horrible abuse. Yeah. Some people sharing stories of this and of that. And it was so inspiring just to see all the progress you guys made. But you're just getting warmed up. Oh, yeah. And I'm expecting to see some big things of you. Just as simply, I want to see that tight 5-minute speech that you can knock out whenever you want that'll make people think, wow, this guy is all that we thought he was and more. And we've got our eye on him. So work on that. I will. Help me lead this team for the next 12 months. Let's get these people on the stage. Yes, indeed. And I want to come to your movie premiere as well. Oh, man, listen, right? Your movie premiere was fantastic. I told my director he couldn't make it on that day. And I said to him, you know what? Like, you know, I'm a big fan of stealing success and just duplicating and you know, like Tony Robbins says, find 5 people, like literally relentlessly copy their success so you can be successful. And your night was epic. You know, congratulations. Thank you. You know, fantastic. Thank you for introducing me to Dan Pena. For anyone watching this, honestly, if you're comfortable and you're happy being comfortable, do not ever watch Dan Pena. But if you want more, hey, Brian will introduce you to the gates of hell. Yes, I will. And yeah, we make a few movies ourselves. That one will be coming out soon. Terrence, as we say on London Real, it's about the journey. We're going to be spending a lot of time with each other for the next couple of years. So let's do some big things. Thank you. All right? Thank you, Brian. Sir. Appreciate it. All right. Take care.
The critics who always speak behind my back, maybe I want to hear them remind me, he's back, the great pretender. I hope this time he gets hurt. I love these guys. They give me fuel. If you want to reach your objective, you want to achieve it, you're going to have to be obsessive. You're going to have to be obsessed. Feel what you do. Feel it. If you're not feeling it, it doesn't matter.
It's Chris Eubank Jr. How do you explain his prowess in the ring?
Junior has that obsession, that genius, that magic. Genius is obsession, but it's in one area.
You studied the sweet science for so much of your life. How do you walk away from it? Do you miss it?
You can't walk away from it. I am it. And even when I dance, really I'm boxing. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, the one who strives valiantly.
What was the worst day of your life, and how has it shaped you as a human being?
When I fought Nigel Benn, I stood like this. It was to mask this. A risk must be taken. That's why you are London Reelers. That's why we're here. We're tired of sitting still, watching it happening for others. Let's do it.